Hi guys, and welcome back to Kitchen Wargamers, and welcome back to my kitchen. We're going to do a battle report for you tonight, Germans versus Americans, and I'm joined by my mate Tom.
You alright, guys?
And what we're going to do is to follow on from the last time we had a battle. Basically, the Americans are pulling out of Normandy after their victory against me, which was a 5-0 win, I think it was.
It was quite decisive, yeah.
Yeah. So there's this small town. It's got crossroads, and each of the roads lead off to different cities and other villages to help the Allies push out of Normandy. So we'll go through the armies and then we'll get started. Ready for it?
Certainly am.
Okay, let's get going. Okay, so this is my army, the Germans. I'm using mainly Fallschirmjäger parachute regiment. So I have my commander and 2 guys with him. They're all armed with assault guns. I've got 1, 2, 3 units. Oh, getting focused. 3 units that are all the same. They're all veteran troops. All with LMGs, and then I've got a 6-man unit there with an LMG as well. The tokens, like I said on another video, are to show the Panzerfaust, so I can keep track when they fire. Got me Panzer here, that's regular, and over here my heavy mortar with the spotter. Okay, let's see what Tom's got.
So this is the Americans. I've got a first lieutenant at the front here. They have the ability so that if they pull out a dice, they can do a special and activate 2 other squads within 6 inches of it. I then have 3 regular squads, each armed with 2 bars, so each of the 2 bars get 2 shots each. I then have a paratrooper company with a, what's that gun on the right called?
That's the LMG.
LMG. I have a bazooka team. The bazooka can fire max distance, and because they're Americans, doesn't get a negative for moving, a negative on to hit, sorry. And then I have a heavy mortar team with some additional people. And then special here is a artillery. Is it artillery?
Yes.
Air support.
Yeah.
And then we have a
Sherman that's been upgraded to 76mm, so it's got a heavy anti-tank gun on it.
There we go. Mark seems to know my army better than I do.
Okay, so this is the end of turn 1. Just kept my Panzer and a unit of my Fallschirmjäger in reserve. Moving on to the table, I've moved troops in here, up to the building there. My command squad and a unit in the building. My mortar spotter is also in that red building, and my mortar team's back here. Okay, over to you, Tom.
End of turn 1 for the Americans. In typical fashion, I've not put anyone in reserve, it's just everyone pile in. So we've got my mortar team with their spotter out in the open, because Mark managed to get his spotter in that building there, and we've got a rule that no spotters within 12 inches, which basically seals off all these other buildings for me. I've got some regulars there, regulars here, and some more regulars which managed to make it inside the building. I've placed my tank on the road, see if I can cover that down there. It's quite a good distance. And I've got my paras with their 4-shot, what's the gun called again?
LMG.
LMG. And then we have my commander in the middle. I've got my spotter for my plane looking down here. You can't see much at the moment, but hopefully you'll be able to get into a better position. So that's end of turn 1. First bit of action in turn 2. Mark's decided that he's going to advance and shoot with this squad. So they've advanced up to floor 2 and they're attempting to shoot at this group of regulars over here.
So 10 shots with my LMGs and the rest of the riflemen. Needed 6s.
So we need 6s due to the
Ooh,
range.
3. And the regular troops I'm shooting at, so I need 4s. Let's see if we can get first blood.
There we go, 2 down.
And 1 pin marker.
Great start for the Americans. So it's all happening in turn 2. Mark's Panzer's moved on and has advanced and is now firing at my tank down here. So we'll see how this goes.
Okay, so worked out ranges and everything, and I need a 4. Oh, miss. Straight over his head.
Ha.
And here we are at the end of turn 2. I've got 1 unit left in reserve. This unit run up to the building. My mortar team with the tape measure right in front of them for cover fired over at this unit here, needing a 5 if he doesn't move to hit. This team in the building went up floor, and yeah, and also why have I got 2? Oh, sorry, yeah, they moved into the first floor, and also there's my spotter as well, who aimed at those guys from the mortar. As you saw before, my Panzer came on, had a shot at Sherman and missed straight over his head. My MMG team moved, ran up, and these guys, my commander there, he's on the ground floor with the 1 on him, and the other team advanced up to the top floor, and as you saw before, they took 2 out over there and put a pin marker on them. Okay, that's my end of my turn 2.
So for the Americans, not really too happy with my positioning. I've moved my aircraft spotter up. Oh, get a better view over there. These guys have legged it up to get into the cover and luckily didn't get shot at. And these guys were placed on ambush, but due to the not being able to see anyone, they don't actually do anything. So we'll see what we do with them next turn. Mortar fired at these guys, but missed, so it's a 5 next turn. And I actually had my tank on ambush, so when he got fired at previously, then he actually took a shot back, but I rolled a 2 and it did nothing. These guys, my bazookas moved up next to the building along with my first lieutenant, and these guys have legged it inside, so hopefully they can do a bit of damage next time. These blokes, they took 2 casualties there and legged it over there, so it'd be nice to have a medic in the group perhaps, but they just leaving the dead behind. So I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're out in the open. They're going to get shot at by everyone. I'm not played it too well at the moment. Ah well.
Okay, so here we are in turn 3, and Tom's about to try and do some damage to me with quite a lot going on. So go on, Tom, show us what you're doing.
So what I did is I activated my first lieutenant, who moved from here to there, and through special order I'm able to pull out an extra 2 dice to activate 2 units within 6 inches. So I've activated this big squad inside here, and my bazooka team who moved from around here, around the edge, try and take out that Panzer down there. So we'll see how it goes. So we've got the dice already worked out on the large team on the paras in the middle.
They're firing at?
They are firing at these guys
that.
here.
Yep.
So they're within range, but it's +2 on the to hit because they're in heavy cover. So we'll see how that goes. So we're after 5s here. So we've got 4. So we'll add a pin marker on for them in a second.
And you're up against veterans,
so that's 5s. Right. And we've got one casualty. So if we do the 3 men here, my captain's squad, first lieutenant squad, they've not hit. And then the bazooka, that just needs 4s, because it's 24 inches, but because it's ballistic, it doesn't get affected by it being the max range. So, oh, a 5.
Oh, he's hit. So, yeah, we'll have to look at the book for that. We'll come back in a minute and see what he rolls to wound.
Right, okay, so we've worked out the damage of the bazooka, and I need a 4 to be able to get through the front armour. So let's see if it goes through. There we go, beautiful, a 5. So,
okay, so let's roll on the damage. In the 4, 5 or 6, it's basically gone.
4.
Oh, why did I say that? So here we go, guys. Boom.
Oh,
My Panzer has gone.
he's done his job. He's done his job. Well done.
Okay, here we are at the end of turn 3, and a bit of action, so much so we didn't get around to filming anything of it. It just happened so quick. This unit here moved up and took a couple out of that unit there. My last reserves have come on down this edge of the board. My mortar team fired and managed to do some damage at them lot, put the pin markers on them and took out a fair few there. They did a morale test and passed. In here, the top floor was hit by one of Tom's mortars, and I lost my mortar spotter, and also other fire took those men, lost 3, and also if he hits this building again with his mortar, he only needs a 2, so what am I going to do with them? And over this side, this team fired across, took a few more out over there. I'm a medium machine gun team just round here who haven't done anything except for move, but hopefully they're in a better position to cover down this flank. So that's me at the end of turn 3.
So here we are, end of turn 3 from the American side. And although we had some good hits on the tank down there, we've lost a lot of men. Like Mark said, took some mortar fire down here, 4 pin markers, lost a ton of men. I did have these 2 squads on ambush for when this team came around, but they only managed to get 1 pot shot on, and these guys just hunkered down, mainly because they've just been bombed by a bloody mortar. So my mortar managed to hit top there, like Mark said, took the spotter out, and I've moved my tank up and he started firing at that building, so it's pretty much pinned down now, as you can see from all the pin markers on there. We've still got my para group in here. They're just firing away. They did fire at these ones in the buildings, added a few more pin markers. My commander's just chilling out at the back here. Bazooka Man, hero of the day at the moment, taking out the tank. And then I've got this squad way over here who's just taking fire, and I've just moved completely out of position, and I have no idea what I'm doing with them. Those poor guys, unfortunately, they've pretty much gone on a suicide mission. They've not even fired the guns yet.
They've done a rally, haven't they? Got the pin markers off them.
So they have rallied and pulled the pin markers off, but they've got 2 squads against them. What are they thinking? Right, on to turn 4. So, start of turn 4, I forgot to mention at the end that my aircraft spotter had placed a smoke on these guys to bring in some aircraft. So this bad boy's coming in. Unfortunately, he's not, because I rolled a 2. So due to enemy German fighters or whatnot, or I don't know, he didn't have his breakfast on time, he's not coming in, he's delayed. But what that does mean is that I can move it to someone within sight. So I can see...
So you're going for...
I'm going for those guys down there, the...
MMG team.
MMG team, yeah.
Thank you very much. That means I might have to move on this turn, or I wanted to fire.
I know you did, yeah. So hopefully, so that'll come in at the start of turn 5. And he's got 2 shots at this, so that only uses up 1 because it's just changed target.
Okay, end of turn 4. So a bit of close combat down here. These charged into that unit there, and yeah, I'll let Tom tell you about them. This unit that came on reserve in the last round, they've run up, going up the left flank. My mortar team, who've lost their spotter now, but they had that building in the sights and they missed, so they need a 5 next turn. This unit here took more and more casualties, ended up with 6 pin markers, so they rolled for a rally and removed 6, which was spot on. Over here, a few more hits going on here, a couple of men gone, My commander activated the squad next to him. They took out his whole HQ unit, and the commander himself fired at these dudes down here and missed. And I think that's pretty much for me now. So over to you, Tom.
So we've got the end of turn 4 for the Americans, and we're losing people left, right and centre. Like I said, got hit with a melee here. These guys are gone. Still got these in the house, so they're going to try and hold off these 2 squads here. Luckily these have got 2 pin markers on, so hopefully should hold them off. My aerial spotter, he's legged it. He was sat right in this bush here. I don't know how they didn't see him, but he's done a runner. And then my mortar team, they fired over there somewhere. They hit the top floor and didn't do any damage to that squad in there. The tank fired on the far building. I was trying to get more pin markers on all the buildings. These guys rallied, got rid of all my hard work, and these guys took 1 hit, and it only put 1 pin marker on. The actual main weapon didn't actually hit at all. These guys, my paras, they're still firing away, but because of limited space, I'm only getting 6 or so to fire at a time. They are putting pin markers on and getting a few kills. They're probably man of the match at the moment, except for Bazooka guy. But yeah, I don't think it's enough gunpowder. And these guys, they're just they took a few shots to try and get them, but not much happened. We have got the aerial support coming in down here though, so we'll see what happens to that. But overall, I'm running out of men, and I've lost my commander, so I'm running out of men pretty quickly.
And the score at the moment is 2 to me and 1 to Tom.
So we got to start at turn 5. The aeroplane's coming in. So it was I think it was a 4, 5 or 6 for the actual plane to come in, and I rolled a 5. It was then a roll to see how many pin markers, and I put 3 on them. It was then a roll to see what type of aircraft came in, and it was a anti-personnel
ground attack aircraft.
Yeah. And then it was 2s to wound because it was 3 on penetration. So do you want to show how many I managed to kill, Mark?
Let's just remove them all, eh? And that's another dice to you, Tom.
Brilliant. So what happened there is I killed 2, but Mark went down, but then failed his morale of 8 miraculously. So we ended up losing it. Well, he ended up losing it. I ended up gaining a dice. So brilliant.
Okay, end of turn 5. So, my mortar team tried to get that building again. They missed. Need a 4. This unit here ran up. Didn't do much, as I remember right. So yeah, they're up in a position ready. Oh, sorry, they fired at the mortar team. That's
Bazooka team.
Bazooka team. Put a pin marker on them, but didn't do much else. This team advanced forward and fired 2 Panzerfausts. Boom. This team moved forward. They fired 2 Panzerfausts and missed. That's why all 4 shots went in. The last 2 did the damage for me. Over on this side, sorry, kicking things over. This unit ran forward to get the hard cover because that building there is full of his 10-man para unit. So I've got to try and start doing something about that. The officer in here, they fired trying to get rid of this last 2-man unit, but no, didn't. Just put a pin marker on them. So that's pretty much it for the German side. So over to you, Tom.
So here we are on the American side, and it's looking bleak. I would call a retreat, but we really need this village. So these guys, they fired out. It was whilst these chaps were further over here. They put a few pin markers on, but they managed to get rid of them and pass it. They lost a few people in the process. My bloke here, I made a very grave tactical error and pulled him out because he was behind this bush, but obviously he can't see anyone there and he needs to do a full fire order, so I actually can't do anything with him. So I just sent him down because if he dies, it's just another victory point to mark. Mortars, they attempted to get out of this one. I pumped so many shots into this squad here. I only killed 2. I put 3 different squads fired at them, and only killed 2. I was trying to take them fully out because they're on the objective there. And this here, lost me tank. Thought I was invincible. Took his tank out, thought I was invincible, and look what it got me. Other side of the board, I've got 2 men left, and I've got these 10 in here, but these 10 men can only do so much. So it's looking pretty bleak for the Americans, but we'll find out see what happens in turn 6.
Okay, turn 6, and Tom has decided to charge his 10-man para unit into these little 2 men here after the point, I think, because I thought he would have gone for them, but yeah. And my paras have already fired, so it's straight onto you, Tom. 5's needed.
Oh no, 2, 3.
3. Oh, I can't do anything even if I roll 2 6s. So he takes that point and wipes them paras out.
Great.
Okay, turn 6 still. As you saw just before, Tom beat these guys here. However, I've decided my guys here are going to charge.
Falling right into my trap.
So here we go. Let's see what happens. We got 5 against 10. Can I beat him by 1? Okay, get me 5 dice. Here we go. Needing 5s.
Oh, 3.
Oh, 3. Could this be it? Okay, Tom. You're 10.
Well, it'll be 7 now.
Yeah, sorry, 7. Yeah. Where are you going to roll?
We'll roll on
We've got
here.
stuff everywhere. Okay.
Oh, 3.
Draw.
Draw. Oh my
We
god, that
fight
was lucky.
again, but together this time. So I've still got 5. Sorry, I've lost 3, haven't I?
Yeah.
So I've got 2 men. Let's see what I get. 5's needed. None.
Nothing.
Tom just needs 1 5. And there he goes.
Yeah.
He's won that point. Okay, here we are again. Tom's decided to charge out the building and charge into my unit of paras here. Tom's going first. The paras have already fired.
So I need 5s.
5s. Oh my
wow.
goodness.
Wow.
How many? All of them.
All of them. Wow. Okay.
Speechless. Okay, here we are at the end of turn 6. I'm laughing already because I know what's happened, obviously. Okay, my command team charged them that have been baning me all through the game and finally got rid of them. So there was a point for me. You've seen the carnage in the middle there, but that's not everything. Over here, I had a full squad that was going to take that pin marker. However, Tom decided to fire his mortar one last time.
Full on last ditch attempt, and look at that bad boy there.
He rolled a 6, and yeah, any 1s I would have had a man alive, but
no. Apparently the Lady Luck is on my side.
So his little air support, air observer, decided to run up and capture that last point.
I charged out of here for a melee as well and took these out.
Yeah, he took them out, run back in.
Chickens.
Yeah, on their reorganisation after winning the combat. But Tom has 1 objective point, 2 objective points. And let's have a look over here. Bucket full of dice. And there's mine.
It was very, very close.
It was all the game. It was down to this.
Yeah.
If I'd have got that objective marker and not lost the 2 units, I might have had a.
Well, you would have won.
victory.
You would have won if you had that one there. I thought they still had a move left in them, and they were going to move up and capture that.
Yeah.
Which is why you were willing to sacrifice them for a bit of fight. But as soon as I lost my tank, I was like, "This is game over. What have you done, Tom?" But I've just gone for last-ditch attempts everywhere. It turns out this 10-man squad actually did hold its own. It held off those two buildings for the majority of the game, and then charged out, took someone out, and then took someone else out, and captured a point. Bazooka guy died, unfortunately, so these guys are getting the gold star.
Yeah, and over here, was it that team that you rolled nothing but 5s and 6s, or was it?
It was these here.
Yeah, on that combat there.
Yeah.
Took them out. Obviously against the elite Fallstrom Jaeger, you needed 5s and 6s, and that's all he rolled.
Ridiculous.
But yeah, fantastic game. Really enjoyed that.
Those weighted dice were worth every penny.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe his last throws over here. Just everything he wanted, everything he needed, he got. So a good win to Tom there.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's the end of the game, guys. Hope you've enjoyed it. We tried to film a bit more action as we went along, because obviously, as you know, we're still learning the rules, so we have to keep turning back to the rule book every so often. But we'll get there in the end. So yeah, we'll do a bit of a recap. See you in a sec. So, welcome to the end of the game, and what a game it was. It was a bit of cat and mouse, it wasn't it, throughout. we took buildings and everything, but turn 6, what a massive turnaround.
Yeah, I think it was the start of the game. It was sort of establishing the buildings in our areas and things like that. And it was a bit of pushing forwards and backwards because no one really wanted to advance too far forwards.
Yeah,
I went stupid with the squad over here.
That squad though, that was over here, it was hit every way, all the way up until the final turn 6.
I think they fired once.
I just couldn't get rid of them. Unbelievable.
Yeah, they were only regulars as well, so it was forced to kill them. But it was just, once they got down to 2 man, the extra +1 and having to hit them makes huge difference.
Yeah, yeah.
I really thought as soon as that tank went down, and I think it was you started pretty much took over this area here, started moving into the road and things like that. I thought, right, that's it.
And
I'm
taking
gone.
that flank, I had 2 units moving up. That last unit I had full strength. That mortar shot, probably the last dice of the turn.
Yeah.
He needed a 6 to 0 in. He got it, and needed 5s and 6s. And he rolled nothing but 5s and no, sorry.
I needed 2s to kill. Yeah. So it was pretty much going to kill him. But I actually feel a bit guilty because that game was all yours from about turn 4 onwards. It was all Mark's game, and it's just luck of the dice at the end. There was no tactics involved. I literally just went bullish, charged men into men, taunted Mark until he charged me, and then again charged with this squad over here, and it seemed to work out. So maybe that's how you play the Americans. Maybe you just charge everyone. Yeah.
But his tank over there, 4 Panzerfausts to get rid of that, and it was the last one that did it in the end. But very good game. Really, really good. It's just brilliant how you think you're on the winning hand, and then it just all twists round. Yeah. And within a blink of an eye,
victory's gone.
Your plan's gone.
I think playing with the tanks is quite interesting because instinctively, because they can fire so many shots, especially against men, you think, right, okay, these are going to be a nuisance, but they soon go down, and they aren't scary, but they're not as scary as you make out in your mind. Yeah.
This is your first time with tanks, isn't it?
Yes. Yeah.
So how did you find them using vehicles?
I like vehicles. I like the tanks. I think if we can maybe do a full tank match and just see how it is.
Yeah.
But
definitely.
I think if you had more than one tank, I think what you got to have, if you got tanks, then you got to have other forms of anti-tank, because you can't just take one out and then have it be completely immune to everything. So having the Panzerfaust on the board was a definite need.
Yeah.
But I think if maybe we have 2 tanks each, or maybe 3 tanks next time, with maybe 1 squad less, I think that would make an interesting game as well. I think we'll end up having to control roads and things like that.
Yeah. But
You can keep my mortars in as well. They seem to do quite well every single time I play with them.
we've usually, with the mortars, we've had medium, but we've upgraded them to heavy on this turn, and it makes a difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, just on the killing power. It's the 3-inch circle rather than the 2-inch one, and it just means that if the squad's bunched up, you can get all 8.
Yeah. So with that, that's it. Day's done. So thanks a lot for watching. I want to thank everyone who's subscribed, and I want to do a bit of a shout out to On Point HQ, another YouTuber, does some fantastic videos. I always watch his. He's been doing a lot of kit bashing, showing you what you can do with bits of different models from Bolt Action, how to put them together, to make up different models basically. So a big shout out to him. Go and see him on YouTube. So with that, don't forget guys to make it, paint it and play it, and we'll see you again soon. See you then.
Mark, I think you're taking this a little bit too seriously.
What do you mean?